The only thing Sorry, I didn't prepare.
Those police officers look thirsty. We should invite them over for lemonade.
The only thing crossing Jackson's mind right now was the word disgusting. A woman trying to impersonate a man when clearly she had the anatomy of a female. Jackson let his bluish gray orbs scan him entirely. He knew he would have to move a bit quick, not knowing scheduling for nurses coming in, and this was just an experiment. Seeing that Dylan was so open to the suggestion made him wonder how open he was to other things. It amused him that he was able to make this sheep walk in the direction he wanted to walk. Being his roommate now would be oh so fun. There now, that wasn't so hard. He walked closer towards him, traveling around the boy frame, and was now behind him. His body hovered over his shoulder, and his face rested on it. He could feel Dylan neck turn, and Jackson was doing nothing but smiling at him. His hands went to his waist and rested there, allowing tension to build between the two. This fucking... Oh my god, there's like... It's like, do you know what the letter S is, or a comma? Keep going. It probably felt either uncomfortable for Dylan, or he was sexually aroused. Whatever feeling he had, Jackson wanted to manipulate it, and his fingers began to slowly trail upwards towards his cleavage. His mouth pressed onto his ear, and his Irish accent was soft and more like a whisper when he spoke. Did you ever wonder what it would be like when you actually remove them? A man won't be able to enjoy you as much. It's a bit sad, isn't it? You'll never have a man look at you the way you want to be looked at. They'll just laugh. Or, since you're a man, are you more interested in a woman? A woman can only touch a man so softly, but a man, when they touch you just right. Oh my god, this is terrible. His hand squeezed softly and tenderly at his breasts. Jackson could feel his insides wanting to vomit. He hated being intimate with anyone. He was a virgin, after all. The idea of sex was so revolting, but sex as a manipulation technique was great. It's electrifying. Dylan watched as Jackson approached before letting his eyes drift down to the ground. The 19-year-old knew that there were scars on his back, but maybe Jackson wouldn't point them out. They were like the scratch marks someone would make during sex, but deeper, clearly intentional. He looked over his shoulder to see Jackson smiling. What was he doing? The moment he felt the older man's arms go around his waist, he stiffened, but slowly let himself relax. Dylan was okay. This was fine. Jackson wasn't going to hurt him. Everything would turn out all right. He shouldn't worry about something like this. The longer Jackson lingered there, the more uncomfortable and aroused he became, until he wasn't sure whether to pull away or just completely succumb. His body tensed again as the man moved his hands, but he felt a sense of calm as he realized that he was only moving upwards. Up was fine, down was bad. As long as it was only up, everything was great. His roommate's words threatened to get to him, but he wouldn't let them. He knew it was a lie. Even if he had to pay someone to look like that, it would happen eventually. It had to. Not everyone was like Jackson or like Kyle's friend. Despite all of his misgivings, he couldn't say that he disliked this. At least, not physically. Mentally, he simply allowed himself to relax and give in to avoid terror. But he couldn't deny that he missed these physical sensations. He felt a cold shiver travel down his spine at the squeezing, and he vaguely thought about trying to leave. But the idea was quickly forgotten. This was his place in society, wasn't it? To be used and abused like this? That was what Kyle's friend, forever nameless in his mind, bitch, you just haven't come up with a name, dumbass, had told him. All he had to do was deal with it and enjoy the physical sensation. Eventually, it would be over. Is this too long to post?